Welcome to Speaking Prowess, the show that supercharges your communication and fuels unstoppable success. Sifu Raphael, visionary founder and world-renowned master instructor, elevates leaders into unforgettable communicators who command the room and inspire action. Alongside him is Scott Schilling, the authentic connector, a business growth expert with 40 years of experience, empowering audiences to rise higher, succeed faster, and thrive with purpose. Together they bring you the strategies, insights, and inspiration to amplify your voice, expand your influence, and unlock your true potential. This is Speaking Prowess. Your journey to communication mastery starts now.
5, 4, 3,
Happy Friday, Scott. How are you, my friend?
Happy Friday. I'm fabulous. Excited to be back at it in a whole new year. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. You know, my favorite part of that intro commercial that we do is when the kid's talking to himself in front of the mirror. He's practicing. That really speaks to me.
I know, it's cool. You know, you love when somebody takes something and takes advantage of it, you know, learns something and goes after it. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. You know, I'm excited for today because we're going to talk about something is the courage to live by design. And we have two, really powerful and exceptional women who are going to be joining us. So let's go ahead and bring them in. And ladies, happy Friday. How are you today?
Happy Friday. Good to see you all.
Happy Friday.
Yeah. So courage to live by design, what does that mean to each one of you? We all do it, but do we have the courage?
I think courage is a unique word. Sometimes, you know, I think courage, I think of the story of the Wizard of Oz, and I think of that lion. And realistically, it's not that he didn't have courage. He just needed the motivation to take the steps to move forward. And it was knowing that he would be getting something that made him take those steps and, you know, and become courageous. And I think that courage is a movement. It's the movement to go forward.
Yeah, beautiful. I love to add that it's also be willing to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, knowing that it's not going to be pretty and it may even get messy, but you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, very true. It's interesting. It makes me think of, I was at a live event yesterday and somebody said, we're probably in our discomfort zone far more than we're in our comfort zone, right? What we feel is comfortable probably is more of the discomfort. We're out, you know, experiencing all the things of life. So I think that's where becomes a great topic because it becomes about having the courage to live a life by design. I think there's a little aggressiveness isn't the word that I'm looking for, but I mean, I think it's, you know, you've got to, it's a choice. It's make the decision to have the courage to live the way you design it. Otherwise you're going to live what other people design for you.
Yes. So true.
Yeah. If you don't make the progress, somebody will make it for you. That is a true statement. You know, you think about a little kid and we grow impatient if they're not tying their shoe and you've given them that much time and now you've got to be out the door, you do it for them. And that's kind of like, you know, we have that wait time, but you have to make that progress or might be forced or not the way that you want it to be happening.
I like that because I've seen so many kids tell the parents to stop rushing them, that they got it. And so there's two stories that we can tell there. The kid saying, you know, my parent doesn't is rushing me all the time. They're not giving me the time. And then the parents like, my kids are so slow. I got to get moving. So think about each one is trying to design their next move, if you will, right? And it's the courage for the child to say, give me a minute or maybe three. I need it. Or the parents saying, you know what? We don't have that time. So I'm going to help you this time and you can keep working on it at a different time. So I think when we have the courage to say something, I think that's an important aspect because as we all know, time is of the essence, right? And sometimes we have the time to finagle, to do things. But also, if we allow other people to finesse their ideas into our time, therefore we don't set our calendars, our schedule, somebody else is going to come and take over. So it's important that we understand that to live by design is owning your calendar.
Certainly, one definition there. I'd be interested to hear both Bethany and Zoraida your definition of what is living by design.
I know for me, and look, my company is called Life by Design, not Default, right? And that happened after taking chemo for 13 years. And for me, what it means for me is that I'm not going to let the external things and people affect how I want to show up for myself. That's really tough to do because my diagnosis said I had cancer. And I had to work through that fear where I finally came to the point where I said, I have cancer. Okay, how do I want to live? What am I hungry for? What do I need that I don't have and how do I get it? Regardless of what the diagnosis said. And so I realized that what I wanted was peace in my heart, love and joy. It took me a whole year to figure that out. And again, I had this diagnosis with horrible side effects, which impacted my children greatly and my marriage because I got a divorce while taking chemo during those 13 years. But I still wanted to live to be the best version of me until I'm no longer physically on this world.
That's awesome. I love that. How about you, Bethany?
I think that it comes down to your values. I think that when you know what is the most important thing for you and you know what your values are, then you know how to shape your life around them. You know how to really support yourself in a way that you're going to be able to support the people that matter the most to you because you know what the most important things are.
Yeah.
Love that. You know, I mean, I think the topic here, you know, live by design, and I don't know that enough people stop down long enough or get still and quiet long enough to really understand what is possible, number one, but also what it takes. And pretty much it's about choices, right? It's about being able to do the things that you truly love to do, as opposed to things that you think others or that others think you should do. There's nothing worse than getting shoulded all over. You know, it's not about that, right? And courage isn't the absence of, or courage isn't the absence of fear. It's having the inner desire to move forward in the face of it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And then we tend to dispel that fear and move through I was doing a talk not long ago, and I said a recent journal listed 538 phobias, 538 classified fears. So it's not that they're not out there. It's what we choose to do with them from that side. I know, Sifu, you talk to that about your students all the time, right? Because you're doing some pretty cool stuff, especially with younger students.
I think that the most important thing that we can consider when we're helping someone understand their value is to understand who they are and why they matter, why they're worth something, why they. You just made me think of a little kid. He is crying. 2 seconds earlier, I saw him fine. And I had told the kids, do your form. And I walked away. And he's bawling and he's bawling. And I came over and I go, actually, another instructor said something to him. He goes, shh. He didn't want to listen to the other instructor. He kind of shushed the other instructor. Yeah, that's not happening here. You're only 7.5. That's not happening. So I went over there and I said, why are you crying? And the other instructor tried to say, why are you crying? And he shushed him, right? So I said, why are you crying? A second ago, you were not crying. I said, are you feeling lost? I said, yeah. Okay. I said, why? He goes, I forgot everything that you showed me. Oh. And I said, so? I said, there's no reason to cry. I said, guess what? You see those 2 kids over there? They forgot to. So I said, don't worry about it. I got you. I said, so let's ready to start again? Yeah. Okay. So he went forward. He remembered as we went on. But also every day at the end of class, I call out one student as student of the day. Who do you think? And all the other kids were phenomenal. Who do you think I called out to be student of the day?
That kid, that same kid.
You know, when I called him out, I said to him, because I wanted the parents to understand why I called him out as student of the day. And when they're student of the day, they get prizes. So they have a chest full of toys. They can go get a toy, or they can get a gold coin. The gold coin, all they get is a gold coin, which they have to collect 10 in order to get something from the shelf, which is a book or a better prize. So they all want a gold coin, right? But the ones that don't understand the principle of saving up to get something better always go for the prize. So I give them 2 choices. So I said, do you know why I made you student of the day? He goes, because I was crying? I said, no. Because you didn't give up because you were crying. Because you faced adversity. Of course, he didn't know what that meant. I said, because you kept going, even though you cried. You did not give up. You did not quit. And that's why you're student. And he's like, oh, okay. So he felt good about it. But I wanted the other kids to understand that you don't quit because things get tough or because you forgot something. So for me, it's always that little lessons that we can do in a moment. And that's how we give somebody the courage for themselves to live by design. Because it's not, I live my life by design because every morning I wake up and I'm grateful. I thank God for the gifts he's given me. And it's all day long. I live every day in gratitude.
Yeah.
Because listen, a lot of people wake up and they take, I'm awake. But they don't even say, hey, listen, I woke up. How many people did not wake up today? How many people woke up in pain or this or that or the other, or they have heartache, or they lost their job, they lost their spouse, their children, whatever it is. But we forget to be in gratitude. Just that I woke up, I have my use of my arms, my hands, my legs, my heart is beating.
Yep.
So that's how I live my life, by design.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Share
Yeah.
that
No,
with
you
others,
really
too.
taught, like you really taught what courage was. That is literally what courage is going through something that is difficult, understanding something that is hard, and realizing that you can start again. Not having that be the definer, not having that be the thing that knocks you down, having
Yeah.
that be the thing that is going to make you move again because you know that you can start again. There's so many people that do not have that knowledge, and we're never taught that knowledge of it's okay to fail, because when you fail, that means that you are just going to be that much better. You're going to be that much better because the more times that you have these mistakes, the more that you get to try. And the more that you try, that's the more practice that you get. The more practice that you get, the better things are going to be. And to show that and to demonstrate that this is a success. But to have that mindset change, that this is what courage is, this is being courageous, is having something that is going to not work out the first 3 to 5, 10, 15 times, but continuing going forward, because you know what your values are. You are living by a design, and because you have this belief, and that is the flame that keeps you going.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. There were so many lessons there, Sifu, and the way you were teaching this little boy. You taught him that it's okay to have fear. We all have fear. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel fearful once in a while, a few times a day, right? And when that happens, right, I have a practice now where I can ask myself, well, how does my heart feel, right? Going back to what you were saying with the way you wake up. There's times where I wake up and I go, good morning, love. What are we feeling today? Or I wake up going, God, I'm so excited. I get to do this today.
Mm.
And lately, because of my mom's health, I've noticed after taking this energy quiz that I wasn't responding that way in the morning. I was actually responding going, oh, what do I have to do? And when I realized that, I made the switch. I'm not in gratitude. So I went back.
Nice.
Right? Because how do you want to show up for yourself is how you show up for the world. So I went back and I said, okay, good morning, my love. What truth is to be spoken today? Right? I listen gently to hear, the thoughts that are coming in, and they come in fast. And then I just say something simple like, I got you. We're okay. I love you. You got this. Let's do it. And then I stand in front of my mirror and I dance. I put on some music that shows me how much I love myself. And then I just sway. I mean, right now I'm going through a really difficult time, and I'm amazed at the maturity, and I'm in my 60s, that I'm still maturing and finding ways to soothe myself. And that's what you did for that little boy. You see, you told him that it was okay to be fearful, because the whole world is walking around with fear. This is why we're having all these wars.
Mm.
This is why the world is in the condition that it is in right now. All of it is fear. Everyone is feeling that they're not enough, that they're feeling insecure. And we're all feeling it. And we're all doing the best that we can. So I love that you did that for him. I love it.
I think it's interesting.
Here's the paralyzer.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I spoke to a group on Monday of executives in transition. That's a fancy word or fancy way of saying they don't have jobs, and are
I know, I've been there.
and are seeking new ones. Right? Wonderful group, wonderful people. There were 2 Gen Z, probably 3 or 4 millennials, 2 or 3 boomers, but the rest of the group was Gen X. And what I found interesting is in that group, there was a fair number of people that said their life is over because they assigned it to having a position or not having a position. And I said, here you are with the knowledge, expertise, wisdom, experience that could serve so many people. But the person who's defeating those things is you in your mind. You know, you're phenomenally valuable. And so one of the exercises I suggested is taking your age, dividing it by 3, and what are the greatest 10 greatest accomplishments in the first third, second third, and third third of your life. And just look at the things that you've accomplished to date. You know, at one time you had a position, could have been getting that position. But then the next exercise, the next part of that was now show the top 5 things that you're going to accomplish in the next 5 years. And it's amazing as soon as you can change that mindset and you can see your value is there. And for those spiritually inclined, I said, quite frankly, you might have been dismissed from a situation that you had completed, and now it's time to do the next mission. What a blessing. So again, it's amazing when we frame and reframe things and how we look at them, like you did, Zoraida, right? I'm not doing so great, so I'm going to put on some music and I'm going to dance. You know, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, going back to the things that, you know, your 6-year-old self loved or 7-year-old, right? I go back to that. This is, I teach devotion to self. And, you know, when everything looks as though you should be crying and being in that ball, there's so many things, going back to what we're all saying, going back to that gratefulness. There's so many things to be grateful for, right? That, hey, you get the chance to dance. I know people with cancer who don't have the ability to dance right now. They're dancing in their chair or they just cannot dance. So the fact that I get to stand and chant and dance in front of my mirror, I mean, that is effing awesome, you know?
Very cool.
And so you find the gratitude in these little things. And when you do that, your heart just lights up. I mean, right now my heart is lit up because I'm having this conversation with you all. And unfortunately, for a lot of us, we're not brought up that way. We're not brought up to see the bright side of things. We're not brought up because, hey, our parents, and a lot of us are parents here, you know, we parent with our traumas, big traumas and little traumas and limiting beliefs. And then we have the traumas from our generations. So we bring all that to how we're brought up, and sometimes we don't have the skills. And I got to tell you, I didn't have the skills. I was born into generational trauma and generational poverty. So I had to learn the skills. And believe it or not, I didn't learn them till really after this cancer diagnosis at 45. You know, that was a wake-up call for me. You know, on the outside, it looked like I had everything I wanted. I went to college. I worked in finance. I lived in the house built for me. I had the 2 children I wanted, the husband. And then when I no longer had that title, my world crashed. I was working for the top 5 company in the world. What? I'm no longer working there. I'm no longer that finance manager. I'm no longer making that money. I was tied to that, to the external, right? That was all mine and ego, mine and ego. But when you are living in your heart, oh my God, when you're living in your heart, it's a whole different feeling. Nothing could stand in your way. And not to say it won't be fearful, but nothing will stand in your way.
Yeah.
When you said big dramas and little dramas, you made me think of like if I gathered all my children, let's say I had 50 children, I would call them my traumadores. So I just go to that. Listen, we're talking about dancing. I think I want everybody to dance in their chairs. Take a look.
The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. Oh, yeah, 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 From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event. It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience mastermind, where purpose is found.
I love it. I love it. I love your song.
Thank you. Every time I hear it, I move. Can't help it.
I want to move my boobs.
It's a great song. It's a great song. Everyone needs to dance a little bit. I love dancing, so I'm all for dancing.
Yeah, the endorphins start to kick in, and oh my God, everything's good in the world. You know, when you're dancing,
Everything
But
is
again,
better when you're dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, movement does create this creativeness inside of us, right? And every time that you move, you're telling your soul, we got to move, we got to live, we got to act.
Yeah.
It's a purpose you're giving your soul. Because I liked what, Zoraida was saying earlier is about the whole value, like it's attaching to outward values or inward values and what that looks like and the different shift that can be in your lives. And how if you're just looking towards the outward values all the time, then when you fail and you lose things, you don't have that gratitude. You don't have that purpose. You don't have that drive. You don't have anything because you're doing everything for that extrinsic motivation. You're doing everything because you had wrapped your identity around something that wasn't a real value. Mm-hmm. But when you shift it to who you are and your growth and the core of everything that you are, it changes. Yeah. And you can find those moments to shift and to dance and to find joy in the smallest things. And that is, I really feel like, what sets leaders apart, because leaders have that idea that when you fail, it's just another opportunity, and they're grateful for it. They don't feel like this is it. This is the end. It's never going to happen again. No, this is the beginning. This is your growing step.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Keep growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got you talked about movement, Bethany, and I saw you moving the other day and that video that you had up there. And you were on these bands and you were jumping and flipping and doing all this cool stuff. I was like, man, I want to join. And you said there's a class at 9 a.m. and I'm like, man, I wish I lived closer to you. It would be so much fun, because that's my jam, moving and jumping and just having fun.
It's bungee fitness. So I teach a bungee fitness class, and it is so fun. I mean, you are strapped to the ceiling, and there's 3 classes a week. And it's something that I feel like, yes, I do. I think we all wear many hats, but I do all the things that fulfill me. I also teach ballroom dance. Like, these are things that fulfill me. Yeah. It's not another thing. It's something that fills your soul because you know who you are. And so I love teaching bungee fitness. I meet all these people all the time. There are so many times where I'm teaching a class and I will look in the mirrors and everyone is watching me exercise because I think I worked them too hard. I get a great workout every time. It's great. But there have been multiple times where I'm just like, okay, bring it down a notch, Bethany. Bring it in. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I love about dancing? It's when you think about it, you're leading with your heart. It's not a mind, it's not an ego thing. You're leading with your heart. And when you're and that energy amplifies. And then other people are feeling that too. And other people that want to be with you. It's a really powerful feeling movement, right? It changes your state. You can go from being sad to happy in 2 seconds just by swaying. I think, is that why Latinos dance so much? I don't know.
I
I mean,
don't
I know in
know.
my household, we were poor,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we danced all day.
I
There was
dance
music all
all the
day.
time.
Yeah, I think music
You know,
I got to tell you, every Monday I have a meeting. It's called Sifu's Mind Body Method, and Scott's in it, and he's dancing, but he's dancing while he's working out because he's on the treadmill and he's like this. So every time he gets on, I'm like, Scott, I'm with you. Let's go, let's go, and it's so much fun, because he's incorporating so much into his workout because in that particular Monday, he's moving, but he's acknowledging because it's a community where we all get together and it's an accountability meeting, right? And Bethany, you've been so graceful to actually come and share your knowledge with us, and we were blessed when you did, right?
Thank
And
you.
and we can't wait to have you again anytime. You're welcome to come and share more knowledge with us, because for me knowledge is power, but knowledge alone is nothing without applying it. So applied knowledge is the key, and for me what you gave us was to be applied, and it's been applied, so thank you for that.
You're
Yeah, I
welcome.
think it's
I
fun
enjoyed
to
being there.
either be on the a bike or an elliptical trainer or treadmill or something, and participating in a meeting at the exact same time, and being able to learn and just fire everything together. Now I do turn the camera off because people do get seasick, but because most of the time. But anyway, it's incredible. But I think all these topics and everything that we're talking about here are really about living life by design, right? Bethany, you said very clearly, these aren't extras or problems, implied problems because you're doing these things. These are things that are just the opposite. They are fulfilling. They make you grow. They make you expand.
yeah.
And I think that knowing the four that are on this in this session here, I'm pretty sure we all have that great desire to see everybody live as fulfilled and as fully as they possibly can, whatever that might mean to them.
Yeah.
So I would ask the question, Bethany, how do you help them figure out how they can live more fulfilled? What are the steps that you take them through?
Really love this question. I love this question because what I specifically do is I'm a mindset and life skills coach. And what I have found is that so many people are really good at a lot of different things. We are good at lots of different things, but then all of a sudden something comes along and we're not so good at it anymore. And so we kind of really avoid it. Or we'll just kind of, tiptoe around that one thing, or we will, overcompensate for whatever that thing is that we're not so good at because we just want to now bury it because we found something we're not good at. This is a real problem that a lot of people do. And it's about now let's break it up and let's develop that life skill. So many times our life skills are easier than we think. We have the foundation of them. They just weren't quite developed all the way. There was a lady that I was talking to and she was like, I burn water all the time. I feel like cooking is a life skill. Can you help me fix that? I burn water. And I'm like, actually, yeah, because that is a time management issue. That is not a cooking issue. This is time management. And she's like, I had no idea. And we just created a whole schedule around time management and how to organize yourself in a way that you're putting all your priorities in order. She didn't burn water anymore.
I love that.
Mhm.
I'd ask you this
It's
the
been so fun.
same question, Zoraida. You know, how do you help encourage people to truly live full?
Oh, well, I teach by my life experience as well as education. So I talk to people, the first question I ask people is, how do you want to live? How do you want to live? Picture yourself in that box, right? And then go back and determine what are the things that you wanted to say and do and feel. And then let's talk about the 3 pillars of nutrition: mental, physical, and spiritual, right? So my work is rooted in the mental, where you're looking for clarity, mindset, emotional truth. And then the physical, which is nourishment. We've been talking about that. Rest, right? Pausing and movement. And then spiritual, digging deep into your intuition, your energy, your connection. I mean, are you believing in something higher than yourself?
Mhm.
Who's got you? Right. And so we start with that. And then my clients normally come up with 3 things that they want to fulfill. And then those are the things that we hone on. But here's the interesting thing. And Bethany, I'm sure you go through it too, that when the clients come in, they have 3 things that they want to work on. By the middle of the program and towards the end, they realized that it was something else, right, Bethany? It wasn't just
All
that
the
little
time.
thing, right? It was something else that was getting in the way, and they didn't even realize it. And
Yeah.
the power of having conversations, matter of fact, the power of communication,
Yeah.
it
Yes.
changes the world.
Mm.
Completely.
I'm so lucky
Yeah.
that I get to do this. I'm lucky that I get to do this. I get to do this. I'm so grateful for that.
Well, I think you actually said a very important 3-letter word there. Get. You get to do it. You don't have to do it.
Right.
You get to do it. And I think anybody who's investing in other people, for the most part, feel the exact same way, that we get the opportunity to share things. Yeah. And again, it's so cool to surround yourself with like-minded, like-hearted people. People talk a lot of times about like-minded. I talk about like-hearted, right? And somebody said, there's no such word. I said, there is now. I just made that up. So
That's
the
right.
point is, it's about being like-hearted,
It
right?
is.
And having those same human desires to see people do well. And anyway, it's so cool to be able to impart things for people's consideration. Just think about how you might feel if this, that, or the other thing were different. Be pretty cool. And Sifu, I know you do this all the time with folks. Is you're such an encourager. You're always lifting people up. Why do you do it? Why do you do
to
it?
work on my arms.
No, at this point, your arm.
Well, yeah, well, the other one, I can lift it up and down. I just can't go like that with it because, I did have shoulder surgery, but it's getting stronger. And every day, that's why every day I aim to get stronger and better than I was yesterday, right? So, why do I encourage people to improve who they are? Because I wouldn't be here if others didn't believe in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to look at don't get me wrong, even the people who didn't believe in me and who actually pushed me down were probably the ones that really helped me the most. Sometimes we forget to thank them. And I am so grateful for everybody, whoever cursed me out, punched me, hit me, called me out. Every one of them. So grateful to them. Because I may just be, I don't know, boring. But I'm not boring because of that. They made me see life differently. I mean, the people who others would never even come across, but I somehow was lucky enough to face them and survive. They made me stronger. They made me want to help others to achieve more. They didn't put me down like they wanted to put me down. If anything, I took that as a calling to get up, to go high. This is why I built Sifu's Mind Body Method. Let me share that with you if you guys are okay with that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You followed the rules, tried the restrictions, counted the carbs, the steps, and the failures. You're not lazy, you're exhausted from doing it all without real change. What if the problem isn't you, but the plan? Sifu's Mind Body Method is a 90-day transformation built on 7 unshakable pillars: mindset, movement, nutrition, hydration, fasting, journaling, and faith. This isn't another shortcut. It's your structure, your strength, your reset. You don't need harder, you need better. Ready to begin? Start today.
Ta-da!
I love how your foundation is on the 3 pillars of nutrition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we think about the gifts that life has given us, the question is, do we accept them or do we let them go?
I think a second, a 1A question on that is, do we recognize them? You know, I mean, I think a lot of times we get caught up in our own little world, whatever it might be. You know, I mean, times move fast, you know, things are going. But do we slow down long enough to truly recognize the potentials and the blessings and the different things? Again, I think that's why it's, you know, we're social beings. Human beings are designed to be social and interact with each other and do things. And I think it's really amazing if you go into those situations with open awareness, right? Looking for the possibilities. The brain is an amazing thing. The reticular activation system will find what you're looking for. So if you're looking for goodness and opportunity and people to be around to support you, that's what you'll find. And if you're looking for junk, you're a pretty good junk collector. You'll probably find it, right? So I think it's so fun to do shows like this where there's, again, like-hearted people that come together with a desire to help others live the life they want by design, because I'm pretty sure that the 4 of us are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love the finding what you're looking for, because anytime you're looking for a new car, a particular color, you never saw that car before. All of a sudden, you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Because that's what you put your mind to it. So the same thing happens with good and bad. If you keep thinking bad, you're going to get bad. That's why people have a relationship, and the relationships, they're like, oh, I had bad relationships. I'm like, well, because you keep looking for them.
Yeah,
That's right.
So
it's
at this point, we're basically wrapping it up, because unfortunately time does fly when you're having fun. But ladies, you know where your heart is, and I want your heart to come back to this show and come back multiple times, because you're very welcome to be here. We love it. So what I'd love to do right now is give you each 45 seconds. I'm going to put your your website across the screen. Bethany, you can go first. You have 45 seconds. Tell us why somebody needs to connect with you. And everybody does need to connect with these two powerhouses.
Thank you. Because I can help you identify why you are feeling that heaviness in your chest. Even though you are doing all the things you need to be doing, there's something that is still holding you back. And I have 5 buckets of self-care, and they each pour into each other. And it's the emotional, spiritual, physical, social, and intellectual. And within each one of those areas, there are about 52 different life skills combined. And it is amazing to see that if you can just figure out the life skill that you need, how that changes your life.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Definitely.
Yeah.
Thrivingbynature.com. Go there. Check it out. Thank you, Bethany. Zoraida, you're up, my friend.
You know, for me, I like to work with people who are motivated to make that mindset shift. And so when people are ready to, because they're tired of experiencing the same crap over and over again, and they want to make that mindset shift and want to get away from that mind and ego and go into the heart. You know, they come to me. They want to, you know, and I just don't work with cancer survivors and caregivers. I also work with people who don't have a diagnosis because of that mindset shift. Again, I help people look at things in a different way, right? Or heart base. So if you want to work on the mental, the physical, and the spiritual being of who you are and want to elevate that and learn really that devotion to self, where you're not letting that mind and that ego telling your heart that you don't deserve that compliment, where your mind and ego is not telling you that you're not good enough. That's what I hope people do, because that's what I did for myself. And then I got the education to back it up. Yeah.
That's it. Everybody go to ZoraidaMorales.com. Scott, my friend, you're up.
But, you know, classically, I'm a sales guy and a sales trainer, but quite frankly, every time you open this up, it's a sale. So selling is actually serving. You know, you are providing solutions to people's challenges, and it doesn't get much better than that. So I work to demystify that process for people, help them understand it's okay to talk about what they do for all the right reasons, and serve as many people as they can. And if I can ever be of assistance to anybody in that, I would love to talk to you.
Yes. And he does not hide well, by the way.
That's right. Scott at scottschilling.com. It's my name. I'm pretty much right here.
I'm Sifu Raphael, and it's a pleasure to have every one of you. And Scott, my gosh, you and I have been friends because of a mutual person who connected us. And the day that we connected, we knew that we were going to be in each other's lives forever.
Yep.
So yes, I'm happy to be doing life with you, my friend. You are a blessing. And I am Sifu.
As are you.
Yes, yes. So I have a new program coming out. It's called Command the Vessel. And it's a daily motivational. I'm going to lie. I'm going to stop the lie right now. It's not motivational. It's a command. If you need motivation, this is not the program for you. This is a command. You either do it or you don't do it. It's 365 days. I was prepping for it. It's open now. It's going to close very soon. So if you're interested, go to sifuraphael.com/command. Because guess what? You either lead or you follow. Your choice. Thank you, everybody. What a blessing you all are.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for
Make sure
being
you
here.
come back, ladies.
Yeah, good to see you all.
And we're all in CLA, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. God bless.
Goodbye.
See y'all soon.